friends, I can't believe it. We're in the last part of the Fibromyalgia Framework series. This is part 8 of the Fibromyalgia Framework. So this framework is coming out first in my newsletter list, second on the blog, and then here on YouTube. You can buy it physically, you can buy it electronically, if you want to get it all gathered together. So this physically and electronically, it has all of the notes, all of the templates, and all of the little notes that I talk about. So I give lots of questions and hopefully help you make your plans to fight fibromyalgia. So this week we're talking about managing normal human needs. So I think that this is a really important part to remember, is that even though we're fighting an illness, even though we have all these complex areas to tackle, we're still humans, and a lot of those basic human needs will help us manage our symptoms. So we can't really go into everything in detail, but some of these key human needs are addressing other health issues. So for me, this was myofascial pain syndrome, learning about trigger points. Working on the trigger points helps the fibromyalgia and vice versa, and it's really important. I wouldn't have gotten where I am today with the fibromyalgia without managing the myofascial pain syndrome as well. And so for some people, there are a lot of other issues that are coming up. So that's a really important factor. Gentle exercise is also important. I really believe that movement helps. And I'm not talking about hardcore exercise. I'm not talking about graded exercise therapy. I'm talking about stretching if you can stretch, or doing a gentle walk if you can walk. Doing whatever you can to move your body and keep your muscles strong. Healthy eating, so avoiding any foods that we're allergic or intolerant to and making good choices to fuel our body. I don't have a personal belief about a way of eating. I just think that any way of eating that prioritizes fruit and vegetables and whole grains and real foods is going to make a difference. But also you do have to avoid what you're intolerant to, because that's just not going to help if you keep putting inflammation into your body. But that's, again, a whole other area. Getting enough sleep. So we talked about this in the sleep module. It is a vital human need, and I get so irritated when people ignore the need for sleep. And so I really believe that this is a number one thing we need to tackle when we're fighting fibromyalgia. Addressing trauma. So there's a lot of research that suggests that fibromyalgia can come on because of stress or trauma. And we do tend to have an overactive nervous system. So you can tackle this through expressive writing or mindfulness, or you might benefit from speaking to a counselor, but this is something that's really useful to tackle. And again, following on from that is managing stress. So everything day to day, things like getting stuck in traffic or being bullied at work, these things do not help an overactive nervous system. So we really need to tackle those. And human relationships. We are human, we have social needs. So if we're stuck at home or can't socialize the way our peers socialize, it can get very difficult. So find people virtually if you don't have people in real life, and do your best to keep up with people who are understanding. Get rid of the toxic ones. And hobbies. We deserve hobbies, even if we have a limited energy envelope. So I really think that that's important to pursue. I'd love to know if any of these areas are something you're struggling with right now, so give me a comment below or come to Melissa vs. Fibromyalgia Facebook group and let me know. Super curious. I work on one thing at a time. I don't hit everything at once because it's way too much. So something to just go into a little bit more detail about. I'm not going to go into heaps and heaps of detail. There's a lot more detail in the blog post, which I'll link below, but gentle exercise is really important. But specifically, I want to talk about yoga. I think yoga is really undervalued. I think that it has a really good place, especially in chronic pain management. I have found such benefit from learning to breathe correctly, which yoga helps with, meditation, which is a core part of yoga, and the stretching and strengthening that yoga brings. And what I have loved about it is that it conforms to what I need in that day. So some days I might only be able to do one restorative pose, like child's pose. Other days I might be able to do a couple of stretches that I really need to do, like for my back or my neck. Other days I can do a very gentle child's pose. Sun salutation sequence. And you can do standing sun salutation sequences. So maybe if your knees are troubling you or you just don't want to get on the mat, you can do that standing. You can do it sitting, actually. There's lots of options, and I provide links to these in the resource list. And I've got a lot of posts, so I'll link all these below. I know it's a lot of information, but I just wanted to offer that to you as an accessible way of getting some gentle movement going. And just don't think of these, trim yogis doing 90 minutes of yoga at one time and doing these crazy pretzel poses, because that's not how it is. And I have found such comfort from it, because I find that doing, say, the sun salutation sequence, not only is it strengthening and it gives you a good stretch, but it's really calming because you have to move with the breath. And it gives you body awareness, which I also think is really important for people like us. You have to think about what you're doing with your body and why and how you're holding it. And there's so many shortcuts to it. So just doing, say, downward dog, which is something everybody kind of knows about, that strengthens pretty much every major muscle group at the same time. Your arms, your core, your legs, everything is engaged. And it's such a gentle way of like getting yourself into using those muscles. And so I just think it's a really amazing tool. So I just want to encourage you, if you want to give it a go, please don't think that it is only about these trim yogis doing 90 minutes. I've never been able to do a 90-minute class. I don't know if I ever will. It seems like a lot of time to devote at one time to exercise. Let me know if you are into yoga or if you found something else that helps you. I mean, there's Tai Chi, Qigong, lots of different options just to gently get moving, or just take a walk, or just stretch and don't call it yoga. But that's basically all of my 8 parts of my fibromyalgia framework. Let me know if this framework has helped you. I'll leave the links to all the videos below so that you can go back through them. They're all available on the page on my website for the framework. You can buy the electronic or physical copy to work through. You can also get a package to have sessions with me virtually to work through each of the 8 modules. So I can help you just with making your plans and fine-tuning, just to help you go from a blank piece of paper to a filled piece of paper, and then to fine-tune it, what works and what helps. The reason I'm doing this is because I really, really want your journey to be shorter than mine. So whatever option you use, whether you just watch the video or just read the blog post, I'm so excited that you've found this and that you're doing it, and I just want to hear if it's helping you. Let me know if you have any suggestions for future videos, anything you want to go further into. I would love to hear from you, and I'll speak to you guys again soon.